So tomorrow we have classes at CDS from 8 to 9:30 or 10 a.m. Okay. So during that class, we're going to practice some listening, some questions for you to practice your speaking. Also we're going to practice some, as I told you, listenings for you to speak. Okay. So let's start. Let's see. Anderson, hello.
Hello, teacher. Good morning.
Hello. Okay, so let's start. What are we going to do right now, guys, is first to listen and to see a video. Then you have to tell me what you understand about it, okay? Great. So here. Okay, so are you ready? Yes. Let's start.
You can write everything down if you want to. Be brave enough to write every one of your goals down. But I'm going to tell you something. Life's going to hit you in your mouth, and you got to do me a huge favor. Your why has to be greater than that knockdown.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Some of you have been knocked out by life, and you got up and saw the blood. He hit me. Sometimes in life, you have to hit back.
It's hard to keep your spirits up, to be motivated, to be encouraging. It's hard. You got bills, you got responsibilities. It's hard, but it's worth believing. It's worth giving yourself a chance. It's worth fighting relentlessly, never giving up.
Don't let this negative world get to you. Don't let it win.
Failure is not falling down. Failure is staying down. It's not in falling that makes us failures. It's in not getting up that makes us failures. And you get to decide if you get up or you don't get up.
You have absolutely nothing to do with what happened to you. It's not your fault. But if I come back a week later, you still on the ground. If I come back a year later, you still on the ground, that's your fault. If you get knocked down, there's nothing you can do about it. But getting back up has every single thing to do with you. And you will promise me that from this day forward, you will not be defeated.
When crises strike in your life, and in the Chinese language, crises mean danger, but it also means opportunity. And this is an opportunity for you to grow. And you've got to be so relentless that you're always looking for a way to get over, always looking for a way that you can break through, always looking for a way that you can win, always looking for a way that you can strike a telling blow.
Failure gives you two choices. You stay down or you get up. Well, I'm up and I am fired up because I have figured it out.
It's the mindset. You better change the way you think. All you need to do is change your thinking and you change your world. You don't need to change anything else.
It takes courage to be different. It takes courage to go where you've never gone before. It takes courage to be successful. It takes courage to win. Do you have the courage to stand there though the storms keep raging and you stand there and say, I've come too far to turn around? Do you have the courage?
The moments that take your breath away are the ones that count. You need the downs to make the ups. You need the ups to create the downs. You need to feel the opposites to truly understand the full reality of the life you are living. I don't care if you've been beaten to the floor, if your legs are too tired to lift that weight. Break through that barrier and create new ones for you. Get back up and live life. When there's a will, there's a way. When you truly need something, you can find a way, and you stop at nothing to reach it.
So I don't care how long it takes. I don't care to sacrifice. You put in too many hours. You made too many phone calls. You put in too much money. You've invested too much time. You should have quit last year. You should have quit 2 years ago. You've come too far to give up. The only thing you can do right now is go all in.
Okay, can you tell me what you understand about this video? Someone, a volunteer who wants to tell me what this video is about.
Even if the situation is bad, you won't be defeated because it always had a possibility to win or to eh, salir adelante, no could you say?
Goes up.
Goes up, and that's why you always fight with life, with the bad situation in the life. That's it.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, someone else who wants to give opinions about this? Darling, what do you think about?
Sometimes life gets harder,
Mm-hmm.
but we have to keep moving on.
Okay.
And just to find a way to find the solution. We don't have to quit. We have to take a courage because we can do it, but our mind stop us.
Okay, thank you so much. Very good. And what about you, Patty? Oh, sorry, you couldn't stay at the beginning of the video, right? Okay, Helen, what about you? Okay, very good. So let's continue, guys. As I told you, we're going to okay, we are going to start practicing with the book. We are going to see some strategies for you to practice your reading. Okay, so if you have the book, you can open it. If not, we're going to work on it right now. Okay.
Here, I'm going to look for my book. The book is in my bag.
Okay, so look for it. So look for it. Okay, it is on page number 2. We're going to see the introduction, okay? So we're going to see the introduction right now. As I told you before, these are some tips for you to start reading an article or the newspaper or something else you want to read, okay? So we are going to start with the introduction, okay? So let's start with Patty, okay? So read the first paragraph. Patricia, can you listen to me?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. I read the text. Yeah.
Yes, the first paragraph, this part.
Okay. No one is born knowing how to read, but becoming simply literate. literate is not enough for academic and professional success. You need to learn how to read well. ESL students in particular need to develop the reading skills that we enable them to not only comprehend text in English, but also obtain what they need a delivered response, or whether this written or oral reply or an action they must take. These are the essential reading strengths that students should be taught at any level. That's it.
Okay, very good job. Yes, these are the essential reading strategies that students should be taught at any level. Very good. So here we have, guys, 7 reading strategies that you must know, okay, for you to start reading and answering about that, okay? So first one, it says previewing, okay? Let's start with Jairo. Jairo, are you here? Yes?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so let's start with the first one, previewing.
Okay, previewing is absolutely essential for a student to get a sense of what the text is about. Elements that are usually helpful for previewing are newspaper handlings or title.
Jairo.
Imagine imagine or photos in signal word or format. For example, if the article has word like first, second, third, eh, no, pero
Etcétera.
etc. At the beginning of each paragraph, or is a numbered list, students will get the sense that the text list states or stereo or is a roundup article.
Okay, very good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Now, what do you understand about previewing? What is previewing for you? It says previewing is absolutely essential for students to get a sense of what the text is about. Okay. So sometimes, guys, sometimes we start reading, but we don't know how the text is about, how the article or how the news is about. So just we start reading and we don't understand about that. So now tell me, what is previewing for you? What is previewing for you?
The traduction could be vista previa.
Very good. Yes, that is in Spanish. But what can you tell me about English? In English?
Well, if a part about what are you going to see or about the topic that you are going to start,
okay,
is just like a little part.
Yes. Okay. Good. Another opinion?
I think that it could be something like an introduction as well.
Okay. Yes. Part of an introduction. Yes. Okay. Very good. Now let's go with number 2, contextualizing. Okay. Contextualizing. Okay. So who wants to read number 2? Volunteers, who wants to read this part? Okay, thank you, Adrian. Contextualizing.
Contextualizing. It is always helpful for students to learn to place the text within a context. Is the news article centered on something that happens everywhere in the world, or just in one specific location? Is this something that affects you, the reader, or other people in the world? That's the main character in the story go through something you can relate to or something you have no experience in? These are great questions for students to think about as they read.
Okay, very good job. Thank you. Okay. Now, what is contextualizing? What is contextualizing?
Had a little information about the news before you read.
Okay, okay, very good. Someone else?
The main idea of the text.
Okay, it could be the main idea of the text or of the article. Okay, very good. So look at here, it says, it is always helpful for students to learn to place the text within a context. Is the new article centered on something that happened everywhere in the world or just in a specific location? Is this something that affects you, the reader, or other people in the world? Okay, so in this case, guys, um, it is like the main idea of the context. Okay, that's why it's called contextualizing. Okay, now let's go with number 3, that is visualizing. Okay, now let's start. Darling, can you read it, please?
Visualizing. Some students, especially those who are visual learners, need to see the information. Can you see the main character in your mind's eyes based on the description? Can you picture the contaminated river as described in the news article? Visualizing also involves organizing the information in a visual way, usually through the use of a mind map or other graphic organizer.
Okay, thank you so much. Very good. Okay, what is visualizing? What is visualizing?
If the news had a picture, try to see the picture first for an idea about the news.
Okay, about what the article is. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, someone else who wants to
Yeah, me
participate?
sure.
Okay, Daniel.
Yeah, I think that as the paragraph says, that it could be good to use the main map. For example, if you are explaining something to another people's, we can use main map. Just they can have a better idea about the topic that we are explaining or we are talking about.
Okay, very good. Yes, that's a good idea, Daniel. Yes, sometimes, guys, when we want to explain something, we need to have a map or a graphic, or a graphic, right? Why? Because sometimes it's better to explain with pictures or with my map, right? For you to understand better. Good, that is visualizing, okay? Now, let's go to page number 3. And let's start with number 4. Okay, it says asking and answering some questions, okay? So let's start with Daniel. Read it, please.
Number 4.
Yes, number 4.
Okay, asking and answering question. What question come to mind when you preview an article? How will the main character solve this problem? A student need to come up with questions they would like answer in the text and pay attention to how they are answered.
Okay, very good. And how They are answered. Good. Now, what is asking and answering questions? What is for
For
you?
example, teacher, at the end, yeah, at the end of a presentation, for example, some people can ask me if I am the host of the meeting, for example, about the
Okay.
topic, some doubt or some question that they can have, and something like that.
Okay, yeah, very good. Okay, someone else about asking and answering questions. And that's very important for you guys. Why? Because as Daniel says, at the beginning of the topic, we have to pay attention. Why? Because at the end of, you have to ask for questions. Ask about what the person is talking about. But in this case, we are talking about some readings, right? So what can you tell me about asking and answering some questions? Let's see. Okay, Walter, what can you tell me about number 4?
You can listen me.
Yes, I can.
Okay, and summarizing is
No, no,
right.
no. Okay, yes. Read summarizing. Yes.
Okay. After the reading, students should be able to summarize what they've read. This may be short oral summary or full paragraph. Summarizing include a very important skill, getting the gist. What was the main point in the history? Summarizing is not retelling everything that happened as it happened, and students need to not only tell the difference, but also learn to give back information and in a clear, concise manner.
Okay, very good. Yes, but also learn to give back information in a clear, consistent manner. Okay, very good. So now, what is summarizing? Summarizing. What is summarizing for you? Imagine if I ask you about this class. So what can you tell me about? So that is summarizing, right? Okay. So for you, what is summarizing?
Teacher, I think that, for example, as you say, if you ask about the class, I imagine that we have to write down or summarizing at the end of the class, for example, what the class about, what was the topic that we were learning, and
Okay, good. Yes, but it's not just to write a summary, right? It's also about speaking. Okay, so David, what can you tell me about summarizing?
For example, when you finish reading a long news, in your mind you made a little short summary with the most important ideas.
Okay, very good. With a more, okay. Yes, with the ideas, right? Very good. So let's see. Pau, what can you tell me about summarizing?
What, teacher?
What can you tell me? What's your opinion about summarizing?
I don't know, teacher. I think that when the student finish the reading, they understand well with the summarizing.
Okay, good. Yes, but guys, summarizing is, for example, imagine right now, we are reading the 7 tips, okay? So summarizing is to make a summary about what you read. That's the summarizing. Imagine that I give you an article, so you have to tell me what's the article about. So giving some points about that. Okay, that is summarizing. Okay, very good. So let's go with number 6. So we are going to divide this. Okay, so we're going to divide this. Let's see, David, let's read the first paragraph. Okay, and Pau, the second paragraph. Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, skimming. Skimming and scanning are usually considered speed reading skills because they are not used for intensive reading. They are essential skills, not less, and students need to know that sometimes intensive reading is not necessary.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. Pau?
Skimming a text involves running your eyes over it quickly to get the main idea. It also allows you to identify which part of a long text you might want to read more closely. This skill is particularly useful, for example, for business English students who have to read long reports that are several pages long. By skimming the report, they can still follow the gist and stop when they find something of particular interest to them.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. Okay, so now what is skimming? What's skimming?
The aspect more important of the text or the thing that I like more of the text. I don't know.
Okay, yes. Yes, that is skimming. So look at here, it says are usually considered as speed reading skills because they are not used for intensive reading. They are essential skills nonetheless, and students need to know that something intensive reading is not necessary. It's like similar like the summary. Okay.
For example, read the text and get the idea.
Okay, yes, that's skimming. It's when you read something and what are we going to do, what are we doing right now? So we are giving the main idea of the reading. Okay. Okay, someone else. Someone else. No. Okay, now listen, the time is running right now, so we are going to stop right now this video conference, but let's reconnect it by the same link, please.